totally impossible.
Hello and welcome back to Conspiracy Cats. Now, like a flat earther going to a science lesson, I am also going to do something I've never done before today. I'm going to learn how to flat smack.
Did you know you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator?
Yeah, it looks easy, but apparently it's quite repetitive.
How many of you guys know how fast you're spinning right this moment at the equator?
And again.
Earth spins 1,000 miles at the equator, all right? That's what they tell us. We're spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
Now, we all know how ridiculous the argument that we're spinning 1,000 miles at the equator is when we're trying to debunk the globe. In reality, we all know we are spinning at 0.25 degrees per minute, which is about as fast as this rock is spinning right now. However, flat smacking does look fun, so let's see how I got on when I tried it on Easter Sunday.
Excuse me. Right, do you know that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator and you can't feel it?
I know that you can fuck off.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, it didn't go too well. In fact, that's bringing back some bad memories. That woman really scared me. In fact, I think I've just pooed myself.
An actual solid...
Yeah.
This is, massively serious.
I know. I've got a show to finish. What should I do?
Send a text message to your friends and your family and let them know.
I think that'll just make things worse, if I'm honest. And anyway, it's not as if somebody's going to ask me to send them a photograph of it, is it?
I'll have one.
Right, this is getting weird. I'll just battle on. Now, it seems as though I was asking the questions in the wrong order, and I should have started off with this.
Well, let's start with when did we learn that we lived on a baller? When do you think you learned it?
When did we learn it?
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Right.
Yeah, the secret to good flat smacking is to remind people that they learned that the Earth was a globe at a very, very early age. In fact, it was one of the first things they ever learned at school.
At what age did you learn that you lived on a ball?
However, if I'm honest, learning that the Earth was a globe was only the third thing that I learned at school. The first one was tracing paper does not make good toilet roll, and the second one was under no circumstances do you ever call your headmistress sugar tits.
Boom.
No, I'm being serious, man. They do not appreciate it. Del, you're quite respectful. What did you call your teachers at school?
Idiot, dipshit, baggy hoot, moron, wanker, pricks, plebs, plamphs, whatever.
Right. Anyway, back to flat smacking. The first thing you've got to do when you're properly flat smacking someone is make sure that they know that our children are being lied to.
I don't want kids being lied to in schools, and they're lying to their kids.
Now, as a teacher myself, this is something that I'm regularly accused of doing by flat earthers, lying to our kids. Most recently by our friend Fred.
My name is Dread.
Just take a listen to what he had to say.
You lie to kids on a daily basis, Baldy Cat.
Thanks, Fred.
My name is Dread.
Now, once you've convinced them that our children are being lied to, it's then a really easy step to move to the next level and try and convince them that everybody is out to deceive us now.
If you Google flat Earth or if you YouTube flat Earth and you search for it, you get results that are debunking it.
Yeah, no, he actually thinks that's an argument defending flat Earth. Maybe you should watch some of those debunking videos.
If you Google flat Earth and if you YouTube search flat Earth, you end up with results that debunk it.
One more time.
If you Google or if you YouTube search flat Earth, a lot of the information that comes up is information that debunks flat Earth. Yeah.
So now you've got them really paranoid and worried for no good reason whatsoever. The last thing you're going to do, the last thing, is offer any evidence for flat Earth whatsoever. Because, well, just doesn't exist, does it, pal?
No.
Exactly. What you've got to do instead is promise them that evidence is out there, but they've just got to go and find it. Take it away.
You have to look into it, you have to read it, you have to research it.
Brilliant. You know what, mate? You delivered that line beautifully.
You have to look into it, you have to read it, you have to research it.
Alright, don't overdo it. You trying to impress me or what?
No.
Liar. Anyway, once you've started to stir that pot of paranoia, you repeat over and over again, you've been lied to.
You've been lied to on this scale. They've brainwashed us, they've mind conditioned us to have these beliefs. What do they call TV? They call TV programming for a reason. Because they are programming you.
But again, under no circumstances make any effort whatsoever to provide evidence that the Earth is flat. Just keep on hinting at the promise that the evidence is out there.
The hard part is not the evidence, it's accepting it.
Anyway, let's take a short break for this.
Hello, my name's Flat Enough, and I've come here to make up some absolutely astounding shit. According to the theory of gravitation, the pressure at the alleged Earth's core must be zero. Wow.
You see, this is what I like about flat earthers. They will simply just make up the most ridiculous nonsense at the drop of a hat. It literally takes less than 10 seconds to Google this and find out that the pressure at the Earth's core is around about 3.5 million atmospheres. Not zero, so just a little bit out there. Now, that comment did get me thinking about the scientific reasoning ability of our friend Flat Enough. So I checked out his channel and I found this absolute gem.
Hello, it's me again, Flat Enough. Now, behold as I destroy the entirety of physics with my complete misunderstanding of a toy slinky. Off you go.
So let's watch his video of the slinky that laughs in the face of gravity. Make sure you keep your eye on the bottom of the slinky as it falls. So the hypocrisy of this video is actually quite amazing. Our friend Flat Enough is a big champion of the idea that gravity doesn't exist and density explains why things fall. What he's not seeing though is if he's using this video as proof that gravity doesn't exist because the bottom of the slinky isn't falling, then isn't that also proof that density and buoyancy aren't responsible for things falling because the bottom of the slinky is still denser than the air around it?
No.
Anyway, the reason the bottom of the slinky doesn't fall is because it's in equilibrium with gravity and the tension of the coils above it. Now, there are more complicated explanations talking about shockwaves travelling through the slinky and the speed that information can travel, but that is for a whole different Baldy Cats video, not this one. Anyway, back to flatsmacking. The last rule of flatsmacking: never, ever, ever answer a question.
I have a question.
Yep.
What would the center of gravity be on a flat Earth?
You know, on a flat, here's a little paper for you. You can look into stuff for yourself.
Yeah, don't ask a question, just give them a leaflet and tell them to do their own research. But what if after you've given them the leaflet, he still wants to ask you a question?
May I ask you my question, please?
Well, you're not really you're missing my point.
And what if, even after you tell him no, he continues to try and ask his question? How are you going to handle that?
May I finish my question?
No, because I don't want to argue over stuff that I can't prove.
Exactly, stuff you can't prove, like the flat earth. Anyway, let's recap. Step number 1, call everybody a liar.
They know they're lying.
And the guy's literally just lying.
Does conspiracy cats know he's lying?
Step number 2, totally misrepresent angular velocity by letting people think that we should be feeling the movement at the equator. Because after all, Ranty, how many miles an hour are we spinning at the equator?
124,000.
No, it isn't. We've said it 5 times in this video.
Have you not been paying attention? Have you not been watching?
Exactly, Del. You tell him, buddy. Ranty, you're not coming on again?
Yeah.
Shocking. Del, would you like to remind us, how many miles an hour are we spinning at the equator?
1,000.
Well done, man. And you know what? Just for that, this week, I'm going to stick an extra packet of Haribo in your lunchbox. He gets so excited, doesn't he? Step number 3. Under no circumstances, answer any questions.
I'm not answering your idiotic crap.
Especially if they're about science.
So there we go. So I'll ask one more time. What is diffraction? I'll give you 10 seconds. Go. What's diffraction? Oh, it's quiet. He doesn't know what diffraction is.
To be fair, you didn't give him 10 seconds.
Oh, I'll give you 10 seconds to Google it. Go on. What's diffraction?
Forget 10 seconds. He's had 2 months to answer that and nothing. Anyway, once all the flatsmacking is done and you feel you're just on the cusp of turning them, then it's time to pull out your trump card.
Water always finds its level.
Right, so that's how flatsmacking is done. And now that's how flatsmacking is done. Now before I leave, I just need your help with one little thing. I really want to make a video debunking this. The only thing is, I honestly have no idea what he's talking about.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Oh God, please don't let it be this question.
Did you know you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator?
If the moon, were aiming at 45.
What?
Focus.
Okay, but I'm lost already.
Focus, 45.
Right, 45.
And the correct aim would be 135, because here's the sun. I don't know if this is focusing, but anyway, would it make any difference if it were aiming at 46 or 47 or 44? I mean, aiming up, it may not be directly up, 0, but it's up is up, you know, and it ain't at the sun.
I promise I've not edited anything out of this video.
So would it make any difference? Would it make any difference if it were aiming up anywhere in here? I mean, come on, man. Up is up. And it's got to be aiming here to be aiming at the sun. Somewhere in here to be kind of aiming at the sun. So, I mean, you know, if we're going to be like, oh, the moon is kind of aiming at the sun, well, we ought to be like, well, it's kind of not. Fair is fair.
So if you can help me out with that, I would be greatly appreciative. See you soon.
Cats, conspiracy cats. No one quite liking to flatten the flats. So come feel the vibe, like and subscribe, and take off your hats to